Hello, welcome back. So it's been a while. I hope you all are doing well. So, the latest trend lately that I've been seeing with a lot of messages coming to me are that a lot of you are interviewing for jobs. So, congratulations to everyone that are getting those interviews because I know it's hard to even get the first interview. So, congratulations for that. So, a lot of these job interviews are in English. And a lot of the questions are, hey, Amanda, we don't know what to say. What words do we use? We want to make ourselves look really top notch, really intelligent. So, what I'm showing you on my screen, this is from a homework assignment that I had for quite a bit of you that I thought I would share with the rest of you. So, it's not exactly my typical uh, PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to go over some of this. Now, there are many different words you can obviously use in an interview, but these are the most common. And you definitely want to learn the synonyms of them. And I'll explain a little bit later as to why. But let's go over uh, some of these. Some of these you're already going to know. So, for example, if you see me a lot, you have heard the word confident because a lot of you with your English level, you need confidence. You need to have that because you're better than you think you are. And when we're confident, wow, it's pretty amazing. So when you're confident, you feel sure about yourself and your abilities. Like, I got this. I know this. I'm awesome blossom. I am confident, motivated. When you are motivated to do something, you really want to do it. So, for example, some of you are really motivated to go to the gym, like my husband. He he's very motivated. He's at the gym every morning around 4 a.m. That's motivation right there. I am not that motivated to go to the gym every day. It's important, so I go less than that, but he is very motivated. It's important to be flexible in the workforce. Now, I'm going to take it a step further. We should be flexible in our personal life as well because things happen. If we don't like change, ah, it makes it harder on ourselves. So when we're flexible, we are able to accept change. We adapt easily to new situations. That's not only important in the workforce, but in our personal life as well. Reliable. So, for example, some of you lately have come to me and have said, wow, I've worked with someone with English, but they're not reliable. I never know when they're going to show up. So, reliable is when somebody is dependable. You can trust them to show up. You want somebody reliable to work with, knowing if I want to take oh, there's my cat, meow meow. If I want to take 3 English lessons a week, that person will be reliable and show up. You want somebody to be reliable at work. If a manager gives an employee a presentation, they want to know that person is going to get it done. They can rely on that person. They are reliable. They're on time. They do their job. They can be trusted. Same thing, for example, if you have children, you want somebody, if you need a babysitter that's reliable. The worst thing is when you hire a babysitter and they're not reliable, they don't show up, it becomes a problem. So, professional. There's a way that we act with our friends, and there's a way we act at work. When we act at work, we are professional because we're in a formal way. So I'll give you an example. With my friends, I might go, hey, what's up? I'm not going to do that at work. It is not professional when human resources walks by and I go, hey, what's up, sister? Not cool, not professional. I will say something like, hello, how are you doing? Something more formal. So there's a way to behave and there's a way not to behave. We want it professional. Communicate. It is so important to communicate not only in your personal life, but at work. We want to be able to share information, ideas. We want to be clear about it. You can be the nicest person, but if nobody understands what you're trying to say, you need to work on your communication skills. Now, I'm not just talking about talking or speaking in a different language, because there are native speakers that don't communicate something very well and nobody knows what they want. For example, in your own language, have you ever had somebody give you instructions and you're like, huh? What did they say? I don't understand. It's because they didn't communicate it to you very well. In a relationship, marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, you need to be able to communicate. You have to express their ideas. You can't just get mad because the other person didn't realize your feelings. You have to be able to tell them. So, and of course, you have to be able to communicate conflict. Sometimes at work, we come upon some interesting things, and you may have to go to your boss and have to communicate your feelings like, wow, I'm working a lot of hours. I need to scale it down. I need to spend more time with my family. And this is how I resolve to do it. You have to be able to communicate personally and professionally. Okay, organized. We have to be able to be organized. We have so much going on. If we are not organized, we will forget. So when you're organized, you can plan, arrange tasks very effectively. Um, my organizational skills, so I could always do better, but I have to be organized. So I have everything on my calendar. So the night before, I usually look at my calendar, kind of see where I'm at, so I don't forget anything. Because when I was not organized that way, I would have my phone ring going, hey, Amanda, where are you? Uh-oh, forgot about you. So that's why I have to be organized. Now, some of you want to be a manager. Some of you want to run your own company. So you need those skills of leadership. This is where we guide, we lead people. We also inspire. I think it's very important when you are in leadership to inspire others, because when you inspire others, I think they work harder, they're loyal to you. And those that work for you, if they do a great job, they make you look good. So you definitely want to know that when you are in leadership. Now, some of you don't want leadership. For example, it's not my thing to be a manager. I like what I do, but I don't want to lead people. I don't want to manage people. So I think it takes a special person to get into leadership. Uh, Problem solving. This is very important. We at work, we have to find solutions when difficulties happen. You cannot just go complain because the person you're complaining to probably wants to hear something to resolve that. So, same thing with relationships. Instead of complaining all the time, problem solve them. Okay, this is what's bothering me. Communicate. I'm communicating to you. Now let's problem solve it to fix it. Adaptable. This is like, you're reliable. You have to, flexible. Well, reliable can come into that too. But when you're flexible, you can adapt easily to new situations. When you're adaptable, same thing. Change happens and you're okay with that. So one day you think you're doing this, boss comes in and says, we're going to do something else. So you have to be able to change quickly without getting upset. Punctual. We arrive on time to work. If your job starts at 8 a.m., you are there at 8 a.m., not 8:30, because then you would be late. Another word for late is tardy. So punctual is very important. Also, presentations, whatever you're working on at work, you have deadlines. You need to be punctual. If someone says, I need that report by Friday at noon, you need to be punctual and have that report done by Friday at noon, not Monday at 3 p.m. Then you're not punctual, you're not reliable. So that's never a good thing. And of course, hardworking. We work hard. We put a lot of effort, a lot of energy into our job. You don't want somebody lazy. You want somebody hardworking. You want to be hardworking. We also want to be hardworking in our personal life. We want to be hardworking in our marriage. We want to communicate with our spouse because communication can be hard work at times. So hardworking can be in our personal life. It can also be in our professional life. Another important thing is team oriented. That means we work well with others because we have a goal at work. We have to work together to meet that deadline, to make our numbers look good for our company. Maybe it's customer service. We need to be team oriented. Have you ever had a job, or maybe you currently do, where everybody is great, they're awesome blossom, except that one person, and nobody wants to work with him? Maybe everyone's like, oh man, I don't want to work with John. John is just, he's annoying. John obviously sounds like he's not team oriented. We are going to work with people we don't want to work with. So we have to be adaptable. We have to be able to change, be flexible, and work with all sorts of different personalities. What I do in my career is I have to be flexible. I have to know that if I'm working with one person this hour and another person from another country the next hour, I have to know cultures change the way I speak because they could be a different English level, could change a lot of different things. So I have to work well with others. I have to work in a team. I have to understand things are going to change constantly. Yes, I may tutor some of you, but that's still working in a team with you. Even though I'm working with English and I'm teaching you new things, we are still team oriented. You and I have to work in a team for you to be successful. You have to communicate with me if something is not working, and I have to be very flexible and change things if I have to. And I have to adapt like that quickly, because you could say today, this is not working, and I have to quickly change it by tomorrow. So team oriented, I've spent a lot of time on that one. Let's move on to dependable. It's another word for being reliable. If you are reliable and you can be trusted, you're also known as dependable. Wow, I can really depend on Mary. When I want something done at work, wow, Mary is always punctual. She's always very flexible. She has her stuff done. So dependable and reliable, same thing. Creative. You want to be creative. You want to have new and original ideas. You don't want to be that person that's always, okay, I'll do it, but doesn't bring anything, doesn't have a new idea. The ones that have new ideas, hey, boss, what if we did it this way? Or I have a great idea. You want those kind of people. They're excited. They want to be team oriented. They want to make things better for the company, not someone that we call the yes man. Yes, yes, yes. They're boring. You want to be creative. Detail oriented. This is important. You want to have somebody that is detail oriented. And this is one of my weaknesses. This is paying attention to small parts, making sure everything looks precise. Precise is another word for exact. Sometimes I glance at something too fast and I'm not paying attention to the details and I miss something. Oh my gosh, here I am, the English tutor, and I just sent out something with a grammar error. So it's very, very important to pay attention to details. You want to be detail oriented. So I just went over these words for you. These are very, very important when you speak in your interview. So I'm going to, again, this is homework. I'm going to go over here. Let's just go over some synonyms. And this is where I kind of briefly mentioned earlier why this is important. You want to know the synonym because if somebody asks you a question about being flexible, you don't necessarily want to answer the question using the same word. You can. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, But if you answer with the synonym, what does that tell the interviewer? That tells the interviewer, wow, this person totally knew what I was asking, and they have a pretty good vocabulary because they're using another word that has the same meaning. So, and it's also good because, again, you may not use innovative, but if somebody said the word innovative to you, you would understand what they're saying. So, synonyms, of course, are so important for a lot of different reasons, but especially this way with interviews. So for confident, you can use words like assured, positive, self-reliant. Those are all synonyms of confident. Motivated. Instead of saying, I am motivated to do a great job, you could say, I am driven to do a great job. I am ambitious to do a great job. I am determined. Flexible, adaptable, versatile, open-minded. Now, versatile is a word that some of you struggle with to say because it's got a lot of weird letter sounds to move together pretty fast. It's okay if you don't say it. I always say use words that you are comfortable with saying. But if someone were to say it to you, you know that it would mean flexible. I am versatile. See, I even have problems saying it. I am versatile to my schedule changing. I am a flexible person. Same meaning. Reliable, dependable, trustworthy, consistent. All the same meaning. Professional, respectful, polite, businesslike, creative could mean innovative, imaginative, original, hardworking, diligent, dedicated, industrious. Those are all synonyms of hardworking. And so if an interviewer wants to ask you, are you motivated to meet deadlines? Instead of saying, I'm motivated to meet deadlines, you could say, I am very driven to meet deadlines to make our company look good. So that tells the interviewer, wow, Mary knew what I was asking. Wow, Mary just used a different word. So Mary probably has a really good vocabulary in English. So if they say a word in the interview, see what you can use for the synonym when you answer it. For example, how flexible, John, are you with working weekends? John could say, I'm very adaptable to working weekends, or I'm very versatile. I'm open minded. It sounds a lot better than saying I'm flexible because then you're just repeating what the interviewer said. So I'm going to go over a couple of, because this is going to be a long video. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to go over a couple of sample interview dialogues, just so you can see how the words are used. So the interviewer would say, can you tell me about yourself? And then you could answer, I sure can. I am a motivated and hardworking person who enjoys learning new skills. I'm also very organized and detail oriented. So, what this person just says is, wow, I'm ambitious, I'm motivated, I'm hardworking, I'm organized. So, you don't have to worry about me forgetting something. And I'm detail oriented. I pay attention. Interviewer asks, what are your strengths? I'm very reliable and punctual. I also have strong problem solving skills and work well in team oriented environments. So, what is that saying? You can trust this person, they can resolve a problem, and wow, they get along with others. And then, how do you handle challenges at work? I stay confident and try to communicate clearly with my team. I believe being flexible and adaptable helps me find solutions quickly. So that person is telling the interviewer that, hey, you can count on me. I can be very flexible, change at a moment's notice, and I'm confident. I believe in myself. Why should we hire you? I'm professional, creative, and committed to delivering my best work. I am confident I can add value to your company. So this person knows how to behave in a professional work environment. They're not walking in with a can of beer saying, hey, what's up? They're professional. They're creative. They think outside of the box. They have new ideas and they work hard. They're confident. I know this is a very long video and I know some of you like shorter videos, but since a lot of you are interviewing right now, a little bit longer than usual, I hope this helps. Good luck on your interviews. It is very hard to get that first interview. It really is. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited to see all of these messages about your job interviews that are coming up and ones that you are doing now. Good luck. Remember, be confident. You are better than you think. Confidence, when you don't have it, it's causing a lot of you to fail. Get that confidence up. Believe in yourself. Know you can do it, because guess what? It's hard to get that interview, but you got it. You got it. So there's something that people see that they want to hear more about. So go show off, show what you know. And I can't wait to hear back about it. And I just want to say lastly, if you don't get the job, it's not the end of the world. It may feel like it. It just means it wasn't meant to be. So what you do with that is you think, wow, what could I have done differently? Maybe it wasn't the job for me, which a lot of times that's happened. That's happened to me. Sometimes I didn't get a job and I think, whoo, I'm glad I didn't get a job at that company. But other times I look back and I think, wow, I probably could have explained myself. I could have communicated about my knowledge, education, more of what I do, my roles, my duties a lot better. So every time I've interviewed where I did not get something, I've learned from it. So if something goes wrong where you don't get it, it's okay, because we learn from that and we move on. So you'll do better the next time. It just means that wasn't meant for you. But the one job that's waiting for you will be the best one ever. All right, enough of my jibber jabber.